We're live on TV3 Ghana on Facebook, DSTV channel 279, all across the world on 3news.com. To the story that's been trending and got lots of reactions indeed, because it's traveled over the period. Attorney General and Minister for Justice Godfrey Yeboah-Dame is advocating for the detention of deposed Member of Parliament for Assin North, James Quayson. This was after the Supreme Court granted an injunction restraining the Quayson from holding himself as a Member of Parliament. Lord Eduasari sat through proceedings at the Supreme Court earlier today. There's details in this report.
A 5-2 majority ruling injuncting Member of Parliament for Assin North, James Quayson, means that the legislator can no longer hold himself as MP for the Assin North constituency. It will be recalled that private citizen Michael Ankoma Nimfa filed an injunction against the Assin North MP following the 2020 parliamentary elections.
The case, which was called at 10:12 Wednesday morning, had both the plaintiff and the defendant absent, but represented by their lawyers in the Supreme Court. Reading the ruling, Court President Justice Jones Doche noted that James Quayson can no longer perform parliamentary duties. This is until the determination of the substantive case filed against him at the Supreme Court. Justice Agnes Doji and Nene Amegache dissented, while presiding Judge Jones Doche, Professor Henrietta Mensah Bonsu, Mariama Owusu, Gertrude Tokonu, and Emmanuel Yonik-Lendi granted the application. Counsel for Michael Nimfa, who was the plaintiff, Frank Davis, praised the ruling.
From day one, when the judgment of the High Court was rendered, it was manifestly obvious that James Quayson could not hold himself out as a Member of Parliament. He doggedly went on, was attending on to the business of government. But today, that road has been effectively blocked. You can tread a path for too long, but it doesn't give you the right to do things which are irregular, unlawful, and an affront to the Constitution.
But member of the National Democratic Congress legal team, Baba Jamal, disagreed with the ruling.
What it means is that Assin North is also not going to have representation in Parliament for as long as this case lasts. That is a sad situation, because there are precedents in this country. We all remember the case in Ayawaso, West Wogon, where the lady was allowed to stay in Parliament until the final day of the determination of the case. So I thought that the Supreme Court will consider that situation and allow a representation.
Attorney General and Minister for Justice Godfrey Yeboah-Dame noted that James Quayson must be convicted.
The opening of nominations, that should be the determining factor as to whether a person is qualified to stand for election or not. And I think that there ought to be even application of the law. There ought to be an equal application of the law. The same fate befell Adamu Dramani Sakande. He was not qualified at the time that nominations were opened, and we don't know what happened to him. He was subsequently declared ineligible, and for that matter, his seat was taken away. So there ought to be even application of the law. If it happened to Adamu Dramani Sakande of the MPP.
The Supreme Court has meanwhile asked the parties to file joint memorandum of issues on the substantive matter by April 25. The Apex Court will hear the substantive matter, which is an interpretation of Article 94(2) filed by Michael Ankoma Nimfa. Until then, the constituents of Assin North will be without a representation in Parliament. Lord Eduasari, TV3 News, Accra.